Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening. If Harvey could seize Nandocorp, it would be easier to take down Dillcorp in the future. Soon, the entire Riddle Corporation would belong to him. And when everything Nicole cared about was in his hands, she would naturally get close to him. Gritting his teeth in anger, Harvey got into the car and said with a dark tone, "Go to the Royal Creek Institute." Part of the reason he lost this time around was because of Mr. Ellison. If it were not for Mr. Ellison who helped Nicole with the cover-up, how would Harvey not realize that Jared had made a move? Especially since Harvey put all of his energy in Mr. Ellison. Harvey would not have suffered such a huge loss. When Harvey arrived at the Royal Creek Institute, he said coldly, "After all these, you're still choosing to side with an outsider?" Initially, Mr. Ellison was taken aback by Harvey's sudden visit. He thought that Harvey was there with good intentions. Unexpectedly, Harvey began to scrutinize Mr. Ellison as soon as he entered. "I don't know what you are talking about," Mr. Ellison replied, confused. "Quit acting. Nicole had been visiting you a lot. Don't you know what she's been up to?" Harvey said angrily. Mr. Ellison was stunned. "She just came to visit me because I was sick." "Humph, did you think I'd believe you?" Harvey said through gritted teeth. Mr. Ellison finally understood what was going on. He finally got the answer to the questions that had been lingering in his mind for the past 2 days. "If you don't trust me, ask the nurse. The previous nurse left. You're the one who hired the current nurse, right?" Previously, Mr. Ellison found it odd that the nurse seemed to be eavesdropping often. Especially when Nicole was there to visit, the nurse would never leave the room. Even if she had to leave, she would stay right outside of the room and observe everything that was going on inside. Seeing Harvey's behavior, Mr. Ellison finally understood that they were not on the same side. And Harvey had assumed that Nicole's frequent visits were so that Mr. Ellison could help her out. Mr. Ellison took a deep breath in silence. A glimpse of sorrow flashed in his eyes. "What happened in the past was my fault. I've done everything I could to compensate for it. If you want to ask for more, I'm afraid I can't provide that. But know that I'd never do anything to hurt you." After all, Harvey was his biological grandchild. Mr. Ellison was not doing anything wrong to atone for his sins. In fact, he admitted his fault. His only hope was for Harvey to be well. It would not only ease Mr. Ellison's mind, but also Harvey's parents. Harvey froze for a moment, grinding his teeth. Then, he came back to his senses, turned around and walked away. He came to the realization that Nicole staged all this. She purposely caused a misunderstanding, so that he would put all his focus on Mr. Ellison and ignore the other side. Harvey suddenly broke out into laughter. It had been 5 years, and Nicole had not changed a single bit. She was still that quick-witted Nicole, that same one who angered and annoyed people. Harvey's assistant felt chills running down his spine as he watched Harvey laugh maniacally. He subconsciously took 2 steps back, in fear of being scolded. Meanwhile, Nicole and Jared had returned to Dillcorp. "Thank you." Nicole did not expect him to turn up and help her. Jared held Nicole's hands gently. "I know you could do it yourself, but I wanted to end things quickly." "You're worried about Everett?" Nicole raised an eyebrow. She roughly understood what Jared was trying to say. "At least we'd have one less thing to worry about," Jared replied calmly. It was not that he was worried about Everett, but it was necessary for them to be prepared for the worst. It would be great if they could land a headshot. Harvey lost this round, but his reaction seemed weird. Nicole frowned. She felt that Harvey's attitude was not a display of what he was thinking. What has happened happened. He's just a sore loser. Something flashed Jared's eyes. He would never let Harvey win. "Do you think Mr. Ellison would be in trouble if Harvey comes to his senses?" After all, Nicole did cause Harvey to be suspicious of her recent visits. "There won't be any trouble. Mr. Ellison doesn't have anything left that's worth it to Harvey. No matter how insane Harvey was, he would not kill his biological grandfather. Actually, I just feel like Mr. Ellison doesn't deserve all this." Mr. Ellison was extremely kind to Harvey. Who would expect Harvey to hide such resentment towards him? Jared comforted Nicole. Mr. Ellison leaves Harvey alone because of the guilt he feels for what happened last time. And it was because of this that Mr. Ellison pent up a lot of things and fell sick, Nicole said sadly. If Mr. Ellison refuses to recover on his own, he'd only get weaker. This is up to Mr. Ellison himself. Jared's eyes darkened. If Mr. Ellison never forgives himself, no one can help him. We should visit him more often. Perhaps it would be helpful if they could lighten up Mr. Ellison's mood. Jared looked at Nicole and held her hands gently. Just follow your heart. Knock, knock. Come in. Nicole looked up and turned towards the door. As the door opened, Lester entered. Seeing that Jared was there, he seemed hesitant. Nicole seemed to notice his reaction, so she questioned him straightforwardly. Are there any updates about Lulu's case? Yes, Lester replied. He understood that Nicole was signaling him to speak directly. Then, he walked to the sofa and said, Iseln's personal assistant contacted those two siblings again. This time around, we gathered some evidence. What does she want now? Nicole raised her eyebrows. When Iseln looks for that pair, it'd definitely be something more than just a checkup. She wants to frame Lulu. They're going to stage a show in which the sister is sick and in danger. That way, Lulu would be in a difficult situation. In fact, they'd cancel her bail, Lester said in a serious manner. If they were not taking any precautions this time around and found some evidence, Lulu would be in huge trouble. Nicole's face darkened. If Lulu's bail were to be cancelled, it would not only affect her career and reputation, but also her wedding. After all, her wedding date was approaching. Ma'am, do you think we should report this immediately or put it on hold for now? Lester asked. Nicole narrowed her eyes and said coldly, let's put it on hold. Yes, ma'am, Lester replied and left. Nicole gritted her teeth. Although they gathered some evidence, exposing it would only interfere with their plan. She would have to wait a little longer. Once her plan was complete, she would make sure they experienced the consequences of slander. Knowing that Nicole was worried for Lulu, Jared comforted her. Since we have the evidence now, everything will be fine. Yeah. Nicole lightly nodded her head and said solemnly, the wedding will go on as planned. For her to do this at such a time, Iseln must have been desperate and anxious to destroy the wedding. As long as Spencer and Lulu could not get married, she would stand a chance. She really was a detailed person. Unfortunately, she used her skills in the wrong place. From the looks of it, San Giotto could no longer accommodate her. As the sun set, Nicole and Lulu stepped out of Dilcorp together. Lulu looked around and muttered, why hasn't June come yet? You're just excited to try on your wedding dress, right? Nicole teased. Lulu began to blush and replied shyly, I'm not the only one who's trying out the dresses. Calm down. She's here. As soon as she finished speaking, Nicole smiled and waved at June, who was approaching them. Sorry, I'm late, June explained, standing in front of the two girls. The traffic was quite bad on the way here. Don't worry. We just came out as well. Nicole smiled. Let's go. Don't make them wait for you. June and Lulu replied, let's go. The girls got into the car and headed to the styling room which they had chosen. They had decided on that styling room a while back. Since their wedding dresses had arrived that day, the girls set a date to try it out together. When they arrived, Spencer was already there, waiting for them. The only person missing was Samuel. You girls are here. Spencer approached the girls and added, Samuel's stuck in traffic. He'll arrive later. Lulu turned to June and teased her, the both of you are truly made for each other. June rolled her eyes at Lulu. Go put on your dress. We should go together. When Samuel arrives, you're going to make him blind with your glam, said Lulu, pulling June and walking into the shop. I'll be with them, Nicole told Spencer and followed after the girls. The stylist immediately came over to find their dressed and helped the girls put it on. Nicole, how's Lulu's case going? June questioned Nicole while she was putting on the dress. Don't worry, nothing will happen, Nicole reassured and then remained silent. But I heard that girl, Iseln, is quite arrogant. Are you sure nothing will happen? June was still a little worried. Nicole sighed. I guess she assumed that she's getting some support because her teacher will be there. Or perhaps, the wedding date is approaching, so she feels like she would lose everything if she doesn't try hard. In that case, I wish that the wedding is tomorrow. June smiled. Once the wedding is over, everything will calm down. No matter what, Lulu and Spencer will still be together. Nicole's gaze darkened. It had always been Iseln who was delusional. Iseln thought that she would stand a chance as long as Spencer was not married yet. However, Nicole trusted that Lulu and Spencer would never leave each other, even if they did not get married. June nodded in agreement. You're right. Spencer and Lulu's relationship was built on a strong foundation. Their relationship was not bound by marriage. Alright, does this look good? Lulu had finished changing, so she asked for the girl's opinion. June and Nicole turned to look at Lulu, seemingly somewhat annoyed. We're worried for you, but you're acting as if nothing happened. Lulu bit her lip and said, things won't change even if I worry about it. So why not cherish the present? You mean present and future, Nicole corrected. Then, she patted her friend's shoulders and said, don't worry. Lester found some evidence. You'll be fine. Really? Lulu's eyes glimmered. Of course. I'd never lie to you. Nicole smiled. I've told you earlier. All you have to do is sit back, relax, and be a happy bride. Nicole could tell that Lulu was still bothered by the matter. That was why Lulu talked about cherishing the present moment. Perhaps, Lulu felt that if she really could defend herself from slander, she would not be able to complete the wedding with Spencer. How is it? Are you guys done? Samuel's voice sounded from outside. June and Lulu looked at each other and said, let's go outside. June? Where Samuel called out to June again when he did not get a response. However, the moment he saw June walk out, he stopped talking. Looking at June, who was holding up her dress and slowly walking towards him, Samuel's eyes became focused, and he could not look away. June started to grow shy from Samuel's gaze. She could not help but blush. Don't just stare at me. Is this dress okay? Samuel came back to his senses and nodded vigorously. Fine. Perfectly fine. It looked really good and was a good fit for June. In turn, Spencer stared at Lulu. With a wide smile, he said, it's very pretty. What do you think? Does it fit? Lulu held the dress and spun around once. I think it's just okay. You should tell us if it's not the perfect fit. We can still get it altered, Spencer gently reminded. I think it still fits. Lulu tried moving around again. That's great. Spencer looked at Lulu carefully, and the smile in his eyes deepened. Looking at how sweet those two were, June could not help but tease Lulu. Now you don't have to worry about anything. Hearing this, Spencer frowned a little. What should she worry about? Nothing. I guess I was a little too anxious, but I'm fine now, Lulu explained, not mentioning Iseln's issue to Spencer. She did not want to put him in a difficult position. That's right. She's getting married soon, so it's normal for her emotions to fluctuate. Knowing what Lulu was trying to do, June played along with her. Samuel saw that the both of them were done with their wedding dresses, so he reminded them, you girls should try on some dinner dresses. June and Lulu went ahead to try on other dresses. This time around, Nicole did not follow the girls. Instead, she stayed with Spencer and Samuel to wait for June and Lulu. You don't have to be here actually. Samuel knew that Nicole specially came for June and Lulu. And because of this appointment, Nicole had asked Jared to fetch Nolan and Lana. I'm here to watch them. After all, her best friends were about to get married. Nicole was cherishing that moment. When they hang out together in the future, Lulu and June would carry the status of Nicole's sister-in-law. Spencer had a different opinion. With Nicole around, June and Lulu would be in a better mood. At least you can comfort them while you're here. Didn't they mention some pre-wedding anxiety? Nicole glanced at Spencer and smiled. She did not mention what happened to Lulu. She knew that Spencer's attitude towards Isoln was all just volunteer work. It was only because he had a promise with his teacher. Spencer did not really care much about Isoln, so it was only normal for him not to realize Isoln's feelings for him. While Nicole was lost in her thoughts, Spencer's phone rang. He looked at the caller ID and immediately declined the call. "Why aren't you picking up?" Nicole questioned. She could tell that Spencer's mood had changed drastically. "It's unimportant." Spencer's voice was cold. He really did not want to take Isoln's call. Realizing that there was something fishy, Nicole could not help but ask, "What's going on?" "Nothing." Spencer was still persistent on keeping his mouth shut. However, Nicole found it even weirder, so she questioned, "If something's going on, you can talk to us. Maybe we could help you solve it. Your wedding day is coming soon. I'm sure you won't want things to go wrong." Spencer still insisted on keeping things to himself. Just as he was about to say something, he held himself back. He hesitated for a moment before speaking again. "It's Isoln. She said that she has feelings for me, but I've rejected her." Spencer did not expect Isoln to pretend as if nothing had happened even after his rejection. She still called him on the phone as usual. In fact, her calls were getting more and more frequent. Nicole narrowed her gaze and questioned, "Spencer, do you really want Isoln to stay at San Giotto?" I actually don't want her here." However, it was not up to Spencer to decide whether she could stay or leave. Initially, he was fine with taking care of Isoln upon his teacher's request. Now that he understood Isoln's intentions, he would not want Isoln to stay. Or else, she might create more trouble in the future. "That's good." Nicole seemed satisfied. "What?" Spencer asked in confusion. He did not understand what Nicole meant. After giving it some thought, Nicole smirked. "Just wait. It's a wedding gift from me to you and Lulu." "What's the gift? Do I have a share in it too?" June jokingly asked. Just as June and Lulu walked out, they heard Nicole's words. "I'm afraid you're not getting a share in this one. But the rest of the gifts were the same. The both of you are getting one each." Nicole smiled and changed the conversation topic smoothly. June seemed to understand Nicole, so she did not question her further. Instead, she pulled Samuel and asked, "What do you think of this dress?" "It's great. All of it suits you well." Samuel felt that his eyes were blurry from seeing all the dresses. Every single one of them looked good on June. June and Lulu continued trying on all of the custom-made dresses. When they were done, their legs were trembling. "Come on, I'm treating all of you today." Samuel raised his hands, sounding generous. "I'm going to eat to my heart's content," June remarked, rubbing her stomach. "As you wish." Samuel pulled June's hand and brought her out. Spencer stood next to Lulu and said in a gentle voice, "Are you okay?" "I'm hungry too." Lulu sighed. This was the first time she discovered how physically draining dress fitting could be. "Samuel is treating us today. You can eat all you want." Spencer patted Lulu's head. He knew that Lulu loved to eat, so it must not be easy for her to feel hungry. Nicole was cringing at their affectionate interactions. So she teased them, "Hey, you guys should go ahead. I'm going home. It's already late. There won't be any dinner left if you go home. Come and join us," Spencer tried to persuade. Lulu did not want Nicole to leave either, so she echoed, "That's right. You've been here with us for so long, you must be hungry too. Come on. We'll eat somewhere nearby." June raised her voice and called out to them. The three of them quickly caught up and June pointed to a restaurant. "It's the one in front. I'm too tired to walk now." "I'm okay with it," Lulu agreed. Nicole smiled. "It seems like the two of you are really hungry." "I'm starving." June came over and hugged Nicole's arms. "Come on, let's eat." Soon, the whole bunch arrived at a nearby restaurant. It was past the dinner peak hours, so the restaurant was not crowded. The atmosphere could be considered quiet. After they found a seat, they ordered their meal. "Oh yes. I can finally eat a proper meal." June seemed to be excited as her eyes were fixed in the direction of the kitchen. "Do you think they'd assume you're trying to break into the kitchen?" Lulu looked at how June was staring. She could not help but tease June. June smirked. "I dare you not to eat anything later. You haven't even entered the family, and you're already safeguarding Samuel's wallet. Don't forget, we're both entering the same family, the Riddle family." As the two girls joked around, they did not seem to be that hungry anymore. The time seemed to pass by really slowly as well. After a while, dinner was served. Just as they were about to dig in, a shadow appeared beside their table. In fact, the shadow covered the entire table. Nicole frowned and looked up. Seeing that it was Harvey, her eyes darkened. "What a coincidence. You're having dinner here as well." Harvey smiled. Nicole's eyes were cold and distant. "Exactly. Don't you see that there's a lot of us here?" "Nicole isn't alone," Lulu said fiercely. Harvey glanced at Lulu angrily. Then, he softened his gaze as he turned to look at Nicole. His voice was also gentler as he said, "I'm not eating either. I'll join you." "No way," their voices sounded in unison. Harvey could hardly maintain the calmness on his face. After all, no one dared to go against him over the past 5 years. "Harvey, this isn't your grandpa's school. We can't let you do whatever you want." Lulu glared at Harvey. "This man is too much. We could finally sit down and eat, but he came to disturb us. It's unforgivable." "Sir, this is a private meal. Any uninvited guests here are not welcome." June's attitude was also cold. She seemed to be unfriendly to him. Although Spencer and Samuel did not say anything, their attitude was clear and obvious. Nicole was the only one who acted as if nothing had happened. She already began to dig into her dinner. June and Lulu glanced at each other. They were too lazy to talk to Harvey either, so they began to eat and chat with Nicole. Moreover, they pulled Samuel and Spencer into the conversation. No one gave Harvey any attention. The atmosphere around Harvey was cold. At that moment, the waitress had served the last dish. Then, she looked at Harvey and said in a friendly manner, "Sir, are you eating? Are you alone? Are you fine with the table beside here?" All those friendly and welcoming words almost caused Harvey to explode. He gritted his teeth and said, "No." As soon as he responded, Harvey stood up and left. He did not have any intentions when he bumped into Nicole, but he walked over instinctively. Unexpectedly, he received such a treatment. That made him feel sad. Previously, he had been tricked by Nicole into selling Nando Corp. Harvey did not find fault with her about it, and yet, Nicole was so cold to him. After Harvey had stepped out of the restaurant, he got into the car while looking gloomy. His personal assistant carefully spoke, "Sir, where are we heading?" "Home." Harvey's voice was filled with annoyance and sadness. "Noted." The personal assistant answered and dared not to speak anymore. They were headed to the Ellison family's house. Harvey leaned on the car seat and closed his eyes. Nando Corp is in Nicole's hands. Everett, that idiot, is nowhere to be found. Everything about the Riddle family is under Nicole's care. It's going to be harder for me to touch the Riddle family now. The Riddle family. Damien, Dylan, Dexter. Harvey narrowed his eyes, and his gaze froze for a moment. He seemed to be scheming something. After finishing their dinner, Nicole and the others walked out of the restaurant. "Nicole, come with me. I'll go home with you after dropping June off. You can come with us too if you want." Just as Samuel spoke, Lulu's voice rang out too. However, both of them stopped talking as soon as they saw Jared. Nicole was a little surprised by Jared's unexpected appearance. "Why are you here?" "To pick you up," Jared said. He wrapped his arm around Nicole's skinny waist and led her toward his car. June and Lulu exchanged glances after watching the two of them leave. They could not help but say, "Well, I guess we don't have to worry about her anymore. Let's go." Knowing that Nicole was going to leave with Jared, everyone stopped worrying about her. Then, Samuel and Spencer left with June and Lulu respectively. In the car, Nicole leaned on the seat and smiled faintly. "Actually, I could have gone home myself. What's wrong with me picking you up? Jared asked her back. It feels. Nicole deliberately paused for a moment. Pretty nice. After saying that, she could not help but laugh. Jared's eyes softened as he gazed at Nicole's playful expression. He reached out and gently smoothed her hair. Then he pulled her into his arms. Nicole rested against his shoulders, bit her lip, and leaned even closer to Jared. Jared lowered his head and planted a gentle kiss on her forehead as his eyes filled with affection. After a while, they arrived home. Nicole stayed still, and when Jared glanced at her, he found that she had already fallen asleep. A faint smile appeared on his face. Then, he carried Nicole out of the car and slowly walked back to their room. After placing her on the bed, Nicole grunted as if she was bothered by the sudden drop in temperature. Then, she rolled over, hugged Jared, and pulled him back onto the bed. Nicole felt Jared's warmth and was finally content. She cuddled up to him like a little kitten and fell back asleep after finding a comfortable position. Jared could not help but frown slightly. He shook his head and smiled. Seeing her sleep so soundly, Jared stayed still. He held her in his arms and let her continue sleeping. After some time, he drifted off to sleep himself. The next day, the sunlight streamed into the room through the curtains. Nicole opened her eyes after feeling the light and found herself sprawled in Jared's embrace like an octopus. She was taken aback. She only remembered Jared coming to pick her up after dinner, and she fell asleep in the car. Her mouth twitched involuntarily, and Nicole felt a little dumbfounded as she shook her head. She was about to get out of bed, but Jared grabbed her wrist, rolled over, and pinned her down on the bed. "You're awake." Nicole was a little surprised. She thought that she had moved so lightly that she would not wake Jared up. "Yeah." Jared's gaze was somewhat dark, and his voice sounded a little hoarse. Nicole raised an eyebrow. "What's wrong with you? Why do you sound like this?" She was about to get a cup of water as she spoke. "Do you need some water?" However, Jared did not give her a chance to leave. Instead, he kissed her and showed her what he wanted and needed. It was already 10 in the morning when Nicole woke up and the house was silent. Her lips twitched as she sighed in frustration. Here we go again. After they got freshened up and went downstairs, there was indeed no one at home as everyone else had gone to work. Nicole did not even have breakfast and headed straight to the office. She grabbed some coffee and a small pastry on her way there and entered her office while carrying the bag. "What took you so long? You came to work so late, and you haven't even had breakfast." Lulu pushed the door open and peeked in with a teasing smile. Nicole shot her a glance. "It seems like Spencer didn't come home last night." Lulu's face immediately turned red as she said shyly, "I sprained my ankle on my way home last night, so he didn't want to leave me alone and stayed with me." "Sure." Nicole shrugged as if it was none of her business. Lulu felt her cheeks getting warmer as she continued to explain, "Trust me. Have a look at it yourself." She entered the room as she spoke. She showed Nicole that she indeed could not walk properly. Nicole could not help but laugh. "Why do you want to explain it to me so badly? At this point, it's perfectly normal for Spencer not to come home." "But that's not the case," Lulu replied bashfully. Nicole chuckled softly and shook her head. Then, she took a sip of her coffee and offered Lulu the pastry she bought. "Do you want some?" "I've had breakfast." Lulu walked closer to Nicole, smiling. "You've lost so much weight recently. You should eat more." "Did I?" Nicole touched her cheek. "I didn't notice." "It is," Lulu replied confidently. "So, you should really take my advice." Nicole shrugged again. "Maybe I've been too busy recently. I'll be fine once everything is over." It was true that she had noticed her weight loss, but she had been feeling very tired lately. Perhaps she had too many things to do and overworked herself. So she figured that she would just take a rest once everything settled down, and she would be fine. Lulu did not say anything more and gave her a last reminder. "You should really give yourself a break after all this." She really thought that Nicole had gotten skinnier, and she looked exhausted. She was genuinely worried about her. "Okay," Nicole said, starting to eat her breakfast. After a while, the secretary knocked on the door and entered. Her expression looked very serious when she glanced at Lulu. Then, she reported to Nicole, "Ms. Riddle, the police received a report saying that the woman is critically ill," Nicole stated calmly. The secretary was surprised. "You knew. Notify Mr. Jensen to take action now." Nicole's gaze darkened. That was the moment she had been waiting for. "Yes, Ms. Riddle," said the secretary. Then, she turned around and left. Lulu's face turned slightly pale. "What's going on?" "It's the wedding gift from Eichlin to you." Nicole shot Lulu a meaningful and mysterious smile. "What?" Lulu's jaw dropped. "Why would Eichlin give me a wedding gift? I should be thankful that she's not causing me any trouble." Nicole kept the smile on her face as she said, "Just wait and see. Why are you hiding it from me? You'll know what it is very soon. Everything would come to light very soon." "Okay, I'll be waiting then," Lulu said with a smile. Although Nicole did not say anything, Lulu knew that Nicole would take care of everything for her. Lulu felt grateful to Nicole and was willing to wait for the final outcome that Nicole would bring her. Later, Lulu went back to her office, and Nicole picked up the documents on her desk. They did their work respectively, and it was already lunchtime before they realized it. After having lunch, the head of the legal department returned as Nicole and Lulu were taking a break from work. "Ms. Riddle, it's been taken care of." Lester Jensen heaved a sigh of relief. "Good." Nicole seemed satisfied. "Thank you so much. We'll leave the rest to Ms. Wyatt." "I'll let her know about it," Lester said, nodding. Nicole paused momentarily before saying, "That'll do too." She had initially planned for her secretary to convey the message, but having Lester do it would be fine too. "I'll take my leave then." Jensen turned around and left after not receiving any more orders. His mission was completed, and it was up to the public relations department. He believed that Ms. Wyatt would handle it very well. What did Mr. Jensen take care of? Lulu asked curiously. She knew that it must be related to her. Eichlin's assistant contacted the siblings again. She wanted the sister to pretend to be critically ill and continue framing you. However, Mr. Jensen caught them in the act. Nicole's gaze turned cold as she continued. "They were the ones who made the report and accused you of attempted murder. However, Mr. Jensen submitted the evidence, so you're in the clear." Lulu's face turned pale after hearing the truth. She could not help but grit her teeth. So the sibling duo is in trouble now. She was the one who called the ambulance for them, and she would never expect them to repay her in such a way. It was simply unacceptable. Not only them but Eichlin too, Nicole reminded coldly. Her true target was Eichlin because she was the mastermind behind everything. If she was not caught, problems would only persist. And this time, she wanted Eichlin to disappear from San Joto for good. Lulu blinked her eyes as if she had just realized something. Nicole had previously mentioned that she was going to give her a special present prepared by Eichlin. Now, she finally understood what that was all about. "Nicole, thank you so much." Lulu felt a lump in her throat. Nicole had really done a lot for her. Nicole smiled and patted Lulu's shoulder. "Not only are you my best friend, but you'll soon be my sister-in-law too. Are you sure you want to be so formal with me?" Lulu hugged Nicole tightly as she spoke in a teary voice. "Nicole, it's so good to have you back. You have no idea what the past 5 years have been like for us. I missed you so much and I prayed for your safe return every day." At last, Nicole had returned, and she was still the same protective Nicole they had known before. Nicole gently patted Lulu and comforted her. "Yeah, I'm back. Everything will be fine now." "Yes, all of us are going to be fine." Lulu nodded firmly as if their future would indeed be peaceful and safe. Meanwhile, after Lester conveyed Nicole's message, the head of the public relations department contacted some of her trusted reporters and spread the news. Very soon, it spread like wildfire on various newspapers and online platforms, causing a stir in San Joto. What a twist. Yeah. It turns out that Lulu is the victim, and she was framed after offering help. It's unbelievable. Can't you see? This is all made up. As everyone discussed the matter, the truth quickly came to light. Under pressure from both the police and the public, the sibling duo confessed that they had received money from Eichlin to falsely accuse Lulu. She looks like a fairy, but how could she be so wicked? Yeah, I'm so shocked. In an instant, Eichlin became the most despised person in San Joto. Eichlin, who had yet to receive the news, was rummaging through her wardrobe to find a beautiful dress. She wanted to go to the hotel and pay her teacher a visit after knowing that Spencer had gone there. Miss Wyant, something's gone wrong. Her assistant rushed in with a pale face. Why are you shouting? What's wrong? Eichlin said in a somewhat displeased tone. Her assistant approached her and took a moment to catch her breath before saying, "The siblings betrayed us and told the police everything. It's all over the internet now. What should we do?" What did you say? Eichlin's voice grew sharp and her hand trembled. The dress she had just picked fell to the floor. However, Eichlin could not be bothered by the dress anymore. Her mind was in chaos, and she had no idea what to do next. Suddenly, her phone rang. She was startled and her face became even paler. She saw that it was her teacher calling. She bit her lip and her expression turned fearful as she already knew why her teacher would call her at a time like this. "Miss Wyant, you should answer it," said her assistant. She knew who was calling, and after all, there was no way Eichlin could avoid taking the call. After hesitating for a while, Eichlin answered the call and tried to speak in a nonchalant tone. "Hello. Come to the hotel now." Her teacher's voice sounded stern. The call was then abruptly ended. Eichlin's heart sank as she listened to the beeping sound from the phone. "Should we go?" the assistant asked cautiously after seeing the reaction from Eichlin. "What else can we do?" Eichlin said with a pale face. Indeed, she had no other choice. She fixed herself and left the apartment with her assistant. Upon arriving at the hotel, Eichlin stepped out of the car. As she gazed at the hotel's entrance, her legs seemed as heavy as lead. She couldn't help but think about her strict teacher and the uncertainty of what awaited her inside. She wondered if she would be scolded once she entered. "Let's go," Spencer's voice rang out. Eichlin lifted her head in shock and saw that Spencer was already walking ahead. So, she gritted her teeth and followed him. Along the way, Eichlin wanted to speak with Spencer several times, but seeing his cold and distant demeanor, she just could not find the words to say. Spencer rang the doorbell when they reached the teacher's room. The door opened after a moment. The teacher glanced at Spencer before looking at Eichlin. "Come on in." They went into the room and Eichlin greeted her teacher. "Hello, teacher. Don't you still remember that I'm your teacher?" The teacher's voice grew stern as he looked at Eichlin helplessly. Eichlin choked and bowed her head. The teacher's heart softened as he looked at Eichlin. Then, he shifted his gaze to Spencer and said regretfully, "It's my fault for not being considerate enough and causing you so much trouble." "Sir, this isn't your fault," Spencer immediately reassured. He had never blamed him. And everything that had happened had nothing to do with him at all. The teacher sighed and looked at Spencer with a troubled expression. "What are you planning to do about this matter?" Spencer hesitated for a moment before his gaze became resolute. "Teacher, we can forgive Eichlin, but on one condition." Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.